Hi, and welcome back to our podcast, Best Friends and Their Books. I'm Tracy here with my co-host and best friend.
Shelby.
Surprise! We
Surprise!
have a little mini, so we have decided to record because as if you read last month, I talked a little bit about reading By Baby that's also of interest to Shelby, and she read and we decided we have a lot to talk about. So let's get started.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the synopsis for By Baby by Carola Lovering. A missing baby, a fraught friendship, a secret that can never be told. On a brisk fall night in a New York apartment, 35-year-old Billy West hears terrified screams. It's her lifelong best friend, Cassie Barnwell, one floor above, and she's just realized her infant daughter has gone missing. Billy is shaken as she looks down into her own arms to see the baby, remembering with a jolt of fear that she is responsible for the kidnapping that has instantly shattered Cassie's world. So begins the story of Billy and Cassie's friendship, both in recent weeks and since they met 23 years ago in their small Hudson Valley hometown, summer before 7th grade. Once fiercely bonded by their secrets, including a traumatic, unspeakable incident in high school, Cassie and Billy have drifted apart in adulthood. No longer the inseparable pair they used to be. Cassie is married to a wealthy man, has recently become a mother, and is building a following as a fashion and lifestyle influencer. She is desperate to leave her past behind, including Billy, who is single and childless and no longer fits into her world. Hurt and rejected by Cassie's new priorities, Billy will do anything to restore their friendship, even as she hides the truth about what really happened the night the baby was taken. Told in alternating perspectives in Lovering's signature suspenseful style, By Baby confronts the myriad ways friendships change and evolve over time, the lingering echoes of childhood trauma, and the impact of women's choices on their lifelong friendships or relationships.
Awesome. Reading the synopsis in my mind, I thought it was more of a thriller.
Yeah, it definitely like comes off that way.
Yeah, and even reading the first like paragraph, it comes off very like thriller-like. But I think once you get into the book, it's not so
And
much.
it starts right with the scene when like Cassie finds out her baby is missing. So it's like
Yeah.
it definitely starts off like how a thriller was. But it's
Yeah,
definitely more of like a drama.
yeah, for sure. In there, oh, sorry.
Sorry. I was just gonna say that where we got the questions from, we couldn't find any
Oh,
online. So we got them from another podcast called The Redheads. Um so yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, continue.
In their friendship dynamic, Billy is painted as a desperate and obsessive, while Cassie is portrayed as a snobby and dismissive. Who did you relate to more, and were any of their actions warranted?
Um, well, obviously there's like never any reason to kidnap someone else's baby. Um, but I feel like the author really wanted us to like warm up to Billy. Like she wasn't like a psycho crazy pants, you know? Like I do feel like besides Billy's crime, she was
Mm,
actually kind of more of like a relatable person in a way, just because
yeah.
Cassie did come off as very like self-serving and snobby,
Mhm.
whereas Billy was more like I miss my friend and like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's just more of like a you
Yeah.
warm up more to the person who's kind of like hurting in that way. And you
Yeah.
just see Cassie as this person who's like got her phone in her hand, like talking to her followers on Instagram and just like doesn't care about like anything about Billy.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I feel
nothing
like,
really like wrong with like Cassie, like what she did.
yeah.
It just seemed like she was very self-serving.
Yeah. And like, I feel like, okay, it's fine to like grow apart from friends and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I do feel like we like were made to sympathize more with Billy because we also heard more of her story. Like
Yeah.
although there was dual perspective, like we didn't like know as much about Cassie up
Yeah.
front. And
And I
like
do still have a question about Cassie.
like I don't see like why Cassie was so quick to grow apart from Billy. Like I just
I don't
like
either.
I
I think
don't see
because
why she acted that way.
I think because she was so obsessed with like her new like rich lifestyle and like her McKay and
Mhm.
everything, like she was like a social climber,
Yeah.
and like only saw herself like being with like a rich man, like with rich friends and family, and Billy wasn't like that, so Billy
But
no
Billy
longer fit
wasn't
her
like not
lifestyle.
successful. Like Billy had
No.
success in her own way. So it's not like Billy was like this
I mean,
complete like
she
broke
rented a one
person.
bedroom apartment by herself in New York City. Like she had
Yeah.
to have
She was
like
like a great girl. And I was like kind of I'd never understood like what Cass if Cassie made this like mistake and she had this like kind of like cloud hanging over her and only Billy knew about it. So that's the only
Yeah.
reason I felt like Cassie was trying to like push Billy away. I don't really feel like it was because of Billy as a person. Like I feel like it
Yeah.
bonded them in a way, but Cassie also, it was like on Cassie's term to like push it away when she wanted it away. Like when she needed
Yeah.
reassurance of the trauma bond, she brought it back, and when she didn't, she pushed it away.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what she did. I also feel like I wish they like kind of discussed more about why she pushed her family away so much.
Yeah.
Um, and I know it's because she thought she was like better than them because she's like now this like rich like
Yeah.
fashion influencer, business owner person.
Yeah.
Um, but it felt like there should have been like a bigger reason
Yeah.
that
Well,
she pushed them away.
I'm married and I have a kid now. It's like, okay, so many people, like not everyone's
Yeah.
lifestyles like line up the same. Like
Yeah.
that is not like a valid reason. I don't understand that at all. The book setting was extremely modern day. We saw references to Zach Brown Band, trendy New York City restaurants, and the Comedy Cellar. How did this impact your experience with the book?
I love when books have like um just like real life stuff in
Yeah.
them, like real references.
Mhm.
It just seems like, oh, like this person, I've like heard of like a lot of the restaurants, like even though I've never been to them, like I've heard of a lot of them, like, oh, they went there. Like, I don't know, it just like brings like this kind of like reality to you outside of like a fiction
Mhm.
or inside of a fiction, I guess.
I do wonder, like, since we're reading this in modern day and like we understand that like Zach Brown Band is relevant right now, but like in let's say someone wants to pick up this book in 10 years, 20 years, like would that affect the way they're reading
Mm.
it? Like would they be like, who's
Yeah,
Zach
like
Brown Band?
some
Like
things
this
like
seems irrelevant.
age
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
just a theme in trendy books because they know they're trendy and they'll probably be like, this book might not be read.
Yeah.
Are you setting yourself up for that by including this trendiness?
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Something to think about.
Throughout their lives, it seems like Billy is always dropping everything to appease Cassie. She bails on her friend Ashton's party to go to Paris with Cassie. She ditched Northeastern every weekend to visit Cassie at Harvard. She missed out on high school parties to stay in and watch Dirty Dancing with Cassie. Most of all, this has justified Cassie's sacrifice of killing Billy's abusive stepdad. What did you think about this imbalance?
I actually didn't like really find it like super imbalanced throughout most of the book until like the present day parts where Cassie like didn't want anything to do with Billy. It seemed like Cassie wanted just as much to do with Billy as Billy wanted to do with Cassie, and almost
Yeah.
kind of feels like Cassie like kind of isolated Billy to be more with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know,
Feel like it was like Cassie just felt like what she like kind of like the like I'm better than you instance with Cassie. It's like what I'm doing is better. Harvard is better. Come party here because
mhm.
it's better. Like come to
Yeah,
Aspen, it's better. Like she always kind of like negated Billy, what Billy could have going on because she felt like she included Billy in what she was doing because it was like better.
that's true.
I really think that she didn't think twice about it either. Like I don't really even think that Cassie even thought about Billy's like side of
Because
it.
Cassie's like the main character. I mean, obviously you're the main character in your life, but like
Yeah.
Cassie, like she didn't even have side characters. Like she was like the
Yeah.
star of the show.
But I don't know, Billy could have grown some balls and like been like
But maybe she didn't feel like she could because Cassie like really did pull her a solid by
I mean,
killing her
supporter are
stepdad.
solid, but like, geez Louise, like it doesn't apply to everything. Like,
No, that's true. Like you can't like hang on to that like your entire life. Like you can't like um use that for everything.
yeah. Billy's boyfriend, Alex, is very understanding and forgiving of Billy's drop everything and help Cassie attitude until she ditches their comedy cellar date to go to the Mayflower Inn with Cassie. Do you think Alex was justified in his anger, or should he have gotten angrier sooner?
He was 1000% justified in his anger. I would have been angrier much sooner because to him, he doesn't know their whole backstory
Hmm.
because Billy hasn't told him. So he's like, okay, well, I go to this dinner party with you at Cassie's house with her rich friends and husband. You explained to me that you don't really like see her that much anymore, but now you're dropping everything to
Hmm.
be with her.
Yeah.
It's just like it 1 + 1 is equaling 3. It's not making sense. So like I would have been like, this person doesn't really matter to you anymore. Why are you dropping me when I now, even though I'm new in your life, like we really like each other, like I matter. Why are you doing that. Like I would
Yeah.
have been.
And he had like these like tickets. It wasn't just like, oh, come over and watch a movie and then you're ditching me for that.
Yeah.
It's like we had these tickets and like it's like a big was a big deal to him and both of them. And she
Yeah.
decided to like ditch that. And I do feel really bad for Alex. I feel like he's valid. I don't know why Billy couldn't, even if she didn't like communicate the whole truth, like she could have communicated like a little bit better.
Yeah, she could have, but then also if she like even started to tell like the truth of what happened,
Mm.
I don't know how much she could tell him without like fully like how much could she say?
But like, what if like you're dating somebody and you trust them? When do you get to the point where you can't tell them the full truth? Never.
I mean, she told Jane the full truth, so
Yeah. So
but
I
they had,
could,
I guess, known each other for very long.
I don't know. I just feel like also like it had been so long. What do you think? What would Alex would have done? If you know that something like bad happened to your girlfriend and someone kind of like made it right in a way,
Hmm.
why would you like, why would you act on that? I
I
don't
don't know.
understand.
I don't either. But he also had to do his due diligence as like a cop too.
Oh, that's true.
That
Yeah.
was kind of the big hang up. Like he has, if he was just like not a cop, like
Yeah,
I feel like it would have been such a different story.
that's true. During Cassie's wedding, Billy discovers Grant's cousin McKay has been selected as the maid of honor over her. She realizes that Cassie isn't mine and she belonged to anybody. She's never belonged to anybody by herself. And is this an oversimplification? What do you think of the maid of honor gate?
Um, I I mean I can understand why Billy's like so upset because she's just realizing that she's been replaced and that's like a hard feeling to feel in a friendship.
Yeah.
And but didn't she like kind of have to know by the wedding day that she wasn't, I mean she knew she wasn't in the wedding. And
Yeah.
potentially it could have been a wedding without any sort of wedding party at all.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, but then see, I go back and forth because like the author did choose to include the part of when they were younger and then being Cassie being like, "You're gonna be my maid of honor one day, Billy." Like,
Hmm.
but then at the same time, like, I feel like there's like when you're in like I think they were like in middle school or something when that
Yeah.
happened when she was like saying that. I don't know. The people I was friends with in middle school, like besides you, I don't really like talk to any of like my middle school friends, and maybe I would have said that to like someone in middle school, but like it
Yeah.
doesn't end up really necessarily being like the truth. So I don't know if her hanging on to something from what Cassie
Middle.
said in middle school was really realistic.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand her being hurt. Like that's
Hmm.
very hurtful.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can understand why she would be hurt. I've probably been in instances in my life where like I assumed maybe I would be maid of honor and then I wasn't and then like kind of
Yeah.
got hurt or whatever. It's valid. But I can see why Cassie would choose like family over like a friend, especially if she feels already there's like kind of like a distance between her and this friend.
Yeah.
Like I
And
would be
like
like, okay, I'll choose my
it
family.
is Cassie's wedding at the end of the day. Like she is the one that has to look back on pictures. She is the one that has to like it is her wedding day. She doesn't have to basically like appease other people's feelings
Yeah.
for her day.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Maybe she could have had like a special part for Billy or something like that.
But
But
like honestly, like I don't know. Like Billy, like is so emotional always over Cassie, and it's like
yeah,
this is just another instance where it's like you're hanging on too strong.
yeah.
Like I just don't get it. Like why did McKay treat Cassie at Harvard the way that she did, and why did McKay want her cousin to be with Cassie?
So okay, so bouncing off from like the last question, this part did kind of make me wonder why she put McKay as the maid of honor. I mean, I know she was like up McKay's butthole, so like it was like she wanted McKay as her maid of honor, but McKay wasn't necessarily like the nicest girl. I
Yeah.
don't think she was like downright mean
Hmm.
to Cassie, but she wasn't like welcoming. Like it was kind of just like
Yeah.
Cassie was like trying to, it was more one-sided with Cassie wanting to be McKay's friend and McKay kind of just being like, Cassie's here, you know, which
But it's
kind of like,
like the treatment that Cassie gave Billy.
yeah. Um, it's just like kind of weird that McKay like always kind of like pushed her off at Harvard and kind of was just like, there's another girl. But then she's like dying for Cassie to marry Grant. I thought that there was gonna be some like underlying reason why, but there just ended up not being that.
Yeah. That was a weird
Like, how
book.
do you go from being like kind of like indifferent or like just acquaintances with someone that follows the same circles to like begging them to date your cousin?
Yeah, like what was the purpose? I thought there was gonna be like an underlying theme there.
Yeah. Or
Hmm.
something that we were like missing.
Yeah. Describe the evolution of their friendship from teens to like their 20s and 30s.
Um, the I just think it's very interesting how friendships can go from like childhood, teens, 20s, 30s. And it just definitely like changes like the entire time. Like, I don't know. It like um it's like in their childhood and teens, they were really like bonded with each other.
Mhm.
And then once they started having different interests and different like points of life, they like kind of
Grew apart.
went away from each other. But normally that like I don't know if you've been friends with someone for that long, normally like a change in like your life wouldn't really like draw you apart like that.
Yeah.
Like Cassie was just very quick to write off Billy, like since Billy wasn't in the same path as her.
Yeah. Which is like kind of confusing to me. Like I feel like, yeah, when you're like young, you're in like the same trajectory. Like you're going to eighth grade, you're going to ninth grade. Like you have like the same kind of like milestones. And then kind of
Yeah.
into adulthood, like it's like, you're everyone's own pace, which is like normal to like be in different. But if you've already been friends with someone so long, you have that like foundation built where I feel like those
Hmm.
like, different paces don't necessarily like equate to like your friendship.
Yeah.
As if like now I'm looking for like a friend, like I kind of like need someone that has kids of like a similar age or like similar like lifestyle because it kind of like
Hmm.
matters more now. But I feel like when
Yeah.
that foundation, like you don't need that as much. So it was really interesting to me how quick Cassie was to dismiss it
Yeah.
when you have this like big foundation built. And like I've been in the situation where Cassie, like I've been one of my friends that had like children before like a lot of my other friends. And it never
Hmm.
like negated my friendship with other people. Maybe
Yeah.
like they don't understand exactly what I'm going through in this instant, but it's not like we can't be friends because you don't know what I'm going through right now with my baby.
Right. And that's very much how Cassie was. And it's
Yeah.
like, did you just forget about like all the years that you had before that?
Yeah. Like there's still like has to be some sort of like common interest. There has still to be like memories and this and like other things that you speak
Hmm.
on besides just like the being married with the child instance. Like she made that like so much of her personality, but I think because she really wanted to like forget her past and she made this her whole present.
Yeah.
Just
She wanted to forget her past
yeah.
completely.
Yeah. Billy's friend Jane reveals that she works with Cassie's husband, Grant, and highlights moments of Grant being a sleazeball and hitting on Jane while in a relationship. Billy feels an obligation to tell Cassie what she has learned, and Cassie gets angry and says, "You're obsessed with me, Billy. You want to be the only one who loves me, and you don't want me to love anybody else." Billy retorts and calls her a gold digger. Who is right? Should Billy have told Cassie about Grant?
Um, I just like felt like that part was kind of funny when she was like calling her a gold digger and then Cassie just like makes her leave. I
But
don't
it's
know.
true.
Like, I mean, no one wants to be called that. Like,
It's true though. Like you don't see Cassie out here dating no broke ass.
no, like
Like
it's just funny that that's like the thing that she said that like made her kick out Billy. But I, Billy definitely should have told her about Grant. Like, why wouldn't she? I feel like she would be a bad friend if she didn't. They were
I
still
would
early in their
expect,
relationship.
yes, any of my friends, I would expect them to tell me about anything. Like,
Yeah, and it was still early enough in their relationship to like,
even if it wasn't, even if now my husband was being a sleazeball, I like would respect like if one of my friends knew that they would tell me. That's a
yeah,
part of being a friend. It's never nice
yeah,
to be told that, but like, why would I be mad at my friend for telling me that? If my
you'd be
husband
mad at
is like that,
him.
yeah, like exactly. Like, what?
And also, like, it wasn't like
Embarrassing.
while they were together. So it's like maybe he was a sleazeball in his past life.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a changed man.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that's your decision to make, but you should still be like equipped with that information.
Yeah.
I just think Cassie is so like in her mind about being perfect and perceived as perfect and just like cannot accept the fact that this is not perfect and she's riding so hard on it. It's like I can't take a step back now. Like
She like thinks that Billy is like coming after her because she's like thinks that Billy may be jealous because Cassie's living this like, you don't think that?
I mean, I do, but it's like how twisted can you be? Like if Billy was jealous of Cassie, like and that's how she's gonna go about it.
Yeah, but I feel like that could be like definitely like a trope from, you know, like she's just so jealous of my life.
Yeah,
Like she's just trying to make me unhappy. Like blah 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 blah. I
yeah,
just feel like Cassie is so self-absorbed that she would think that someone would do that to her.
yeah. That's true. What did you think of Jane's agreement to cover Billy's alibi about having a migraine instead of cat sitting the night that she kidnapped Ella? Is Jane a good friend or an idiot for breaking the law?
Jane is a real one.
She's a
Like
real one. Love her. She's my favorite character in this book.
I I
Same.
am not a friend as Jane is, even though Jane totally sold her out in the end. Like, and I
Yeah.
do feel like part of Jane like kind of knew.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she has my hat on. Where would she have like the thought like didn't go as fast as her mouth was, but I do kind of think like she knew a little bit and wanted to call out Billy, but like kind of like in a discreet way.
Yeah. I think that
Uh,
Jane made a stupid mistake at the end. Like I think she like caught herself and was like, oh shoot, like
yeah.
oops. But Jane is a good friend. I don't think she's an idiot for breaking the law because honestly, if I was in Jane's position, I would probably behave the same way.
Hmm.
Like because I mean, it's not like Billy did something like murder someone. Billy did
Yeah.
not, I mean, she gave the baby back, although it was not right. Like, no way, touch my kid,
Yeah.
you're dead to me. But
But it also like kind of pissed me off about like how Cassie and Grant just like put their freaking baby outside on a terrace and left them
yes,
alone. Like I don't think I mean your baby shouldn't be stolen from you, obviously, like
yeah. But
but
what are they thinking?
like I guess in a way like play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I don't know, that sounds like bad too because it's like obviously she doesn't have to deserve to have her baby stolen at all.
No. But
I'm
I
like,
do
what were
see
you
like
why are you stupid? Why would you leave them outside?
I do kind of see why Billy did it too, because I don't know, like in my position, if I would have heard my friend's baby crying and I knew they were ignoring me and I was already mad about them, like I could see like the like impulsiveness of doing that. Not that
Yeah,
I think it's right, but I could see like the impulsiveness of you're not watching your baby. Like if you're watching this wouldn't happen. Like learn your lesson.
right.
Like, I can see like this like weird instance of it.
But
And
then
I
it
think
ended poorly because she just dropped the baby off at the door. Like,
yeah, I would have been like, what I like if I was Billy, I would have been like, I took your baby, come get. I would have texted her, be like, hey, I have your baby. When you want to pay attention to her, you come get her. I'm in this apartment.
right? We don't want to leave her outside.
Yeah, like come get her. Like it would have been like snarky. And like, what are they gonna
Mhm.
do? Like you were just babysitting technically. It's not like you really like
Yeah.
or whatever. You're right there.
Hmm.
I don't know. I do think Jane, like if
She could
it
have
was
been like, my invitation must have been lost, but I have your baby.
but like seriously, like I mean, what kind of big smack in the face would be like, "Ooh, I heard you ignoring your baby to the party I wasn't invited to." Like she could
Yeah.
have done that in such a tactful way, but she didn't.
Hmm. It's like crazy because like in the book, Cassie is like so obsessed with her baby, but then she's like leaves her baby outside.
I know.
I was like, girl.
But this is a Cassie thing. It's like the baby only is important when it's like when it's like about me.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
Like when she's so self-absorbed that the baby's only important when it falls into her narrative.
Hmm.
Her birthday, she'll want that baby. And her husband's the same way though. He's like all about him and like what he wants and like how they're
Yeah.
together in that instance. I don't really understand because they both seem like to have the same ego.
Hmm.
Shortly after Cassie learns that Billy was the one who kidnapped her daughter, she resumes her influencer Instagram lifestyle. What did you think of this? Should more lessons have been learned?
Of course she resumed her influencer Instagram lifestyle. Like she's all about herself.
I
Why
know.
would she not?
Yeah.
She was
I would
probably so happy to get her little fingers back into like her little Instagram, like recording herself and like putting all her links up and stuff. Like she
and like
was,
didn't want to share her story either. Which is
yeah.
part like of what like I kind of have beef with influencers, like, of course, Instagram, you only see like the positives. It's not like, oh my God, this happened to me. I'm taking a break because of this. It
But
was
her
like this,
followers were like would have been so angry and like probably would have found Billy, and she decided not to charge Billy. So
yeah,
it would have been like kind of
that's true. Yeah.
like putting Billy in danger, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then again, she didn't really care about Billy anymore, so.
I really thought this was gonna be like kind of like this the theme of this would be like how it doesn't online presence doesn't matter. And like I thought she'd
Hmm.
learn that through this and be like, actually influencer life doesn't matter. And I'm going to like move on in a different route
All
because
that
I
matters is that I
it's,
have my baby. Like,
yeah, this is what matters. My baby is what matters.
hmm.
And it was kind of disappointing for me to see her just go jump right back into it, even though she took like a month off or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
in the scheme of things, what is that?
I feel like it just like goes to show Cassie's character, like in the book, like she's self-involved from like the beginning to the end, no
Yeah, that's true.
matter what happens to her.
And that kind of like brings up like I know that she killed this is like kind of going off of the question, but I know that she killed the stepdad because of what he did to Billy, which is like warranted. Like I just think that
Hmm. Oh my
in my
God,
eyes,
his
she
like
did
chapters
nothing.
about him were disgusting.
Yeah,
Like,
she did nothing wrong. She was protecting her friend. Like it was disgusting. But I don't know. That's the only instance we saw in the book where Cassie did something that didn't serve herself.
yeah. And then Billy tried to like kind of rewrite it and be like, oh, well, she did it because of what Wade said to Cassie right before she shoved him. And so she like turned it around to be like,
Yeah.
well, Cassie really only did it for herself. But I don't know. I don't think Cassie really only did it for herself. Like,
I really like wanted to see Cassie be the good friend and do it for a good friend.
yeah, I do think she did.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought about that a lot. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. She's so self-serving, but like it did bring her back to Billy in the end. Like not pressing charges, I feel like because tit for tat.
Yeah. And they
So
can just kind of go their separate ways now.
yeah. Which is why I think so in my Goodreads review, I was like, what about the ending? Like, because I was expecting a thriller. So when it came
Mm.
to the ending and it was just like Billy and Alex like reconnecting and then didn't really like give us like a significant like this is the ending.
Hmm.
Okay, so Billy and Cassie are tit for tat. That's how that ended. And they're going their separate ways.
Hmm.
And then Billy and Alex come back together. Do you think that they stay together and they live happily ever after?
I do think they eventually, yeah, get
Yeah.
back together because he said that he just wanted to see her. Like when he put two and two together, he
Mhm.
then decided to ask her, like, are you lying to me? And she told him the truth. And
Yeah.
he was like, I wanted to see if you would lie. And so I think he knows that she made like a very big mistake. It was
Yeah.
very surprising that it took him that long to realize that it was her after he saw the hat in the
Yeah.
closet, in her like closet at home. Like I feel like alarm bell should have been going as like a police officer. Like I've seen that hat. Like I've been just like
Yeah.
scouring this, you know,
Yeah.
footage. But
But did he just like ignore it because he didn't want to believe it?
maybe, maybe he wasn't good at his job.
Not to.
I'm just kidding.
Overall rating of this book.
I gave it 5 stars. I enjoyed reading this book so much. It was so good.
Yeah, I think I gave it 4. It would be like a 4.5. I think that if I went into it with less expectations that it was a thriller, that I would rate it higher. But then when I got
Yeah.
to the end and I was like, where's the loop? Like, I was like expecting like
Yeah,
really like
like a
it's
big twist.
yeah. And so at the end I was kind of like, wait, what just happened? Like this is how it's ending? Like,
Yeah.
but I did really enjoy reading this book too.
Hmm.
It was a good one.
Yeah. All
Um,
right, y'all. I hope you all enjoyed our little special mini episode. Um, we
well,
will catch you next time.
bye.
Bye.